The markets pulled back this week. The QQQ was down 2.41%, while the SPY was down 1.37%. Basically, every pop or every rise in the market was getting sold during market hours, and we also saw some weakness in the indices. I've been sitting in cash the whole week. I didn't take in any new swing positions, and in this video today, we're going to be analyzing the charts, most especially the QQQ and the SPY, to see where we are and the outlook for next week. So let's get right straight into the video. As we can see, we have the QQQ daily chart. We started off the week on the 17th of August at a QQQ close of around 729. So we saw this point, this recent high at around 734, which was last week Friday. It kind of tested that point on Monday, but after then we had a gap down on Tuesday, some continuation sideways, bounce off the 48 EMA. So basically we've had around 6 straight red days in the market, or 5 straight. I think this should be 5 straight red days. We're green on Friday, so we had 5 straight red days in the market, which signals some weakness in the QQQ. And we can see here on the stochastic, on the daily stochastic, we have the K at 46.47 and D at 62.33. So we're seeing some weakness on the stochastic RSI as well. We still have some headroom to go lower on the stochastic. We can still go to oversold regions because we're not yet at oversold regions. We're still around the mid range of 46. It is not a guarantee that we get to oversold. We can see a bounce off here on this 48 EMA, but our job is not to predict the market. Our job is to react to market price action. That is the motto for Methodical A1 on this channel. We only react to price market action. We wait for market to confirm what it wants to do and to show us its hand. So right here we can see QQQ is just above the 48 EMA. If next week we break below the 48 EMA, which is around 709, we might see continuation downwards to the 100 EMA. But if next week we see the QQQ starting to reclaim the 13 EMA around 716.37, if it starts going above, closing above and holding, that might signal some market recovery, and we might head back to the 730s or the 720s. So it's something to look out for on the QQQ. Just wait for confirmation before we take in any new swings. And so that's for the daily chart. If we go on the 4-hour chart, because we're trying to see if we could have some opportunities to enter in some new swings on the 4-hour chart, we only enter the 4-hour chart on an A+ setup. If we have the price above the 13 EMA on the daily, that's only when we look at the 4-hour chart. So we're trying to look at that on Tuesday, but we saw on the 19th, price tried to break above the 4-hour 13 EMA, but absolutely got rejected. So it was a common theme we're seeing this week. Pre-market, overnight market, the QQQ will be green and the SPY as well. But once it's market open, everything sells off. Once you start having that market condition, you have to be really cautious. In a bull market trend, you have price opening maybe at 0.1, 0.2%, and then that's during the pre-market and overnight. Then during market hours, it goes up to 0.5, 1%. So basically what I'm trying to say is that in a bull market trend, in an uptrend, you have the overnight and pre-market open slightly green, and then during market hours, you have like a rapid melt up. But in a downtrend, from observations, what I've seen is that you see a slight green, or even sometimes the QQQ or SPY might go up to 1% in pre-market and overnight markets. But once it's market hours, everything sells off. So we can see on this 4-hour, the EMAs have started to cluster. Like you can see, there isn't much separation amongst all the EMAs. So it's very risky to trade in such a market because you have fake breakouts and fake breakdowns. So you'd absolutely get smacked if you get into such positions. So we wait for the confirmation on the daily before we look at the week at the 4 hour chart um for any market recovery. So we'll move over to the SPY chart now. So we had a similar scenario on the SPY. 4 hour chart is looking weak as well. The EMAs are clustering on the daily chart on the SPY. So the SPY actually looks a bit better than the QQQ, but it's same strategy that we're looking at. The SPY is below the 13 EMA. It also closed above the 13 EMA on Friday. Now, the SPY has more room to run. If you see on the stochastic as well, K is at 49. We can still go to oversold regions. It's not a guarantee. We have to wait to see if we break and hold above the 13 EMA here. If we start breaking above the 13 EMA here and we get some confirmation of some buyers stepping in, then we can enter for swing position. But also note that this could be a sideways market and could continue for the coming days or weeks. So once we see that clear confirmation of an uptrend, that's only when we can enter into swing positions, hoping for a move higher. So just one thing I want to reiterate, this week and last week we were in cash. Cash is a position. You always have to remember that in such sideways and downward trending markets, you could lose a lot of money. So the best thing is to sit in cash. Cash is a strategy. It doesn't mean that since you're in cash, you're not participating. Sometimes it's good to stay away from the market and just observe. It saves you the mental stress, it saves you the losses, trying to make back losses, it saves you all of that. So you have to identify market conditions. Like I always say, first week of August, we had this move up. It was quite a good trend from the 31st all the way to the 5th of August. After then, it's been sideways and downwards. So you have to know when to press and take advantage of the market, and you have to know when to sit out of the market. So thanks guys for watching this video. I'll see you in the next video. Please like this video, please share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Methodical A1. We're going to be analyzing more charts in the coming weeks. Bye for now.